Shalom uvracha from Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh. This evening we are privileged to study together Parashat Shmini, the Torah section of our study this week. And with your permission, I would like to focus on a phrase which intrigues me towards the very end of the section of study of Shmini, wherein a double phrase is used regarding the concept of being holy. If you want to follow in the text, it's on chapter 11, verse 44. A few sentences before the end of the parasha. Perek Yud Aleph, Pasuk Mem Dalet. V'hit kadishtem, v'hitem kedoshim. The Torah is telling us that you shall sanctify yourselves, and then you will be holy. What does that mean? You shall sanctify yourself, you should make yourselves holy, and then you will be holy. Obviously, if you make yourselves holy, then you're holy. You sanctify yourselves, then you're sanctified. Why the need for a double expression? V'hit kadishtem, v'hitem kedoshim. And the rabbis discussed this question in early rabbinic literature. There's a baraita, an early Tannaitic source, recorded in Tractate Yoma, Masechet Yoma, at the end of the third chapter, page 39a in Yoma, where the rabbis teach that if you take the first step towards being holy, then God will fill in all the necessary missing steps. You just do yours, you know. V'hit kadishtem. In the language of the Gemara, Adam mikadesh atzmo ma'at. A person has to sanctify himself or herself just a little bit. But a little bit is not enough. But you start. You start with a little bit. Mikadesh atzmo ma'at. And then the continuation of this v'hit kadishtem. So you did yours. V'hit kadishtem. Those people familiar with the system of the 7 forms of conjugation of Hebrew verbs, v'hit kadishtem is a reflexive verb. It is something that you're doing by yourself, to yourself. You are making yourself holy. You do something. You are taking the steps to do something holy. Adam mikadesh atzmo ma'at. Just a little bit. And the response will be, the divine response to your behavior will be, v'hitem kedoshim. God says, okay, you did your proper kinds of activities. You did a little bit of kedusha, v'hitem kedoshim. You really will be holy. Adam mikadesh atzmo ma'at, mikadeshin oto harbe. It happens often in life that when we set goals for ourselves, and the goals are so high and so lofty, so removed, that some of us don't even begin because we feel that we'll never be able to achieve. We'll never be able to actualize these goals. When someone dreams of accomplishing great levels of spiritual activities in the realm of what we would call holiness, Beit Kadishtan. So if they would think, well, I'm never going to get to the level of Kedoshim, so I don't even want to start, because how high will I be able to climb on the ladder of Kedusha? Says the Gemara here, V'hit kadishtem. Just take the first step. You do yours. You do your best, and Hashem will do the rest. V'hit kadishtem, as Rashi writes. V'hitem kedoshim. V'hit kadishtem ma'at. The last Rashi in the third chapter of Yoma. V'hit kadishtem ma'at. V'hitem kedoshim harbe. Haba litaher misayein oto. Anyone who comes and who makes attempts at becoming pure, at becoming holy, at becoming righteous, at becoming connected to greater levels of spiritual heights, there is a divine assistance. There's a divine assistance in the process. It's not merely what he or she is doing. God steps in. That's why it says, V'hit kadishtem. You do what you're supposed to do, and God does the rest. And that's what it says in the continuation of the passage here in the Gemara, that if a person is bekadesh atzmo milamata Mikadishin oto milamala. If you take the steps down here to be holy, then there will be some kind of divine, godly assistance of holiness stemming from all the way above. We find in rabbinic literature in many places an ongoing discussion / debate between God and the Jewish people, so to speak, about who should take the first step. And in certain places we read that Hashem says to the Am Yisrael, Shuvu Elai, just take the step of returning to me. And if you do, V'ashuva Alechem, and I will return to you. But you have to take the first step. V'hit kadishtem, do something. Ma'at. You can't do great levels of kedusha, so just do ma'at. Of course, in certain places we read that Am Yisrael claims, I can't do that, God. Could you please take the first step? Could you draw us back? Could you pull us? Because in order to get back to you, we need your divine assistance. Hashivenu, Hashem Elecha. You bring us back, and then we'll come back. In the Hasidic literature, in Kabbalistic literature, they speak of different levels of itaruta, different levels of awareness, different levels of divine connections, of certain stirring of spiritual motions. Is the itaruta supposed to be coming from the le'ela? Is it the le'ela? Is it from above? Or is it itaruta dilatata? Is it from below? Where does it begin? Our text, according to this reading, begins with the individual, begins with the person, begins with us. V'hit kadishtem, do something, and God will fill in whatever's missing. Adam mikadesh at atzmo ba'olam hazeh, mikadeshim oto olam haba. You were involved in certain kinds of positive behavior in this world. You will be blessed with levels of holiness beyond this world, in the world of the souls, in the world beyond. And it would seem from our text that I believe we could translate v'hit kadishtem as meaning a person should go through the motions of being holy, even if they are not yet fully connected to true holiness. And I would like to suggest a possible translation as v'hit kadishtem, do holy kinds of things. Okay, so you're not yet holy, but you're doing holy things. They're external. I'm going through the external motions of doing holy things. And God's promise to us is, if you do those kinds of external activities of holiness, the reward will be, you will really be holy. You're not starting off for holy reasons. You're starting off because you're starting off because of other kinds of considerations, other types of side issues. So let's say you're pursuing activities of Torah. Let's say you're involved in going to the weekly classes of the rabbi, the rebbetzin, of the Torah teachers in your community. But you're not going because your heart is really so deeply connected and longing to hear the words of Hashem in the Torah. It's not because you're so holy that you want to go to the Torah class. You have other considerations, you have other reasons why you want to attend those classes. Even though you're not yet vihitem kiddushim, if you do the vihit kadishtem, if you go through the motions of, this is a holy action, you will become holy. Not only will your actions be holy, but vihitem kiddushim, your being will turn holy. Let's say you buy religious books. Let's say you purchase religious books. You have a whole library of religious books. It's very impressive. Sometimes you walk into someone's home and they bought every new book available. I have a friend who has a lifetime subscription to every single book that Art Scroll publishes. It's an expensive proposition, right? Let's say you bought the entire Art Scroll library. May God bless them. They should be successful teaching Torah to the whole world. Yeah. So let's say you're not interested in reading it. You don't read any of those books. You just have like bookcases and shelves, and you have a whole system of filling your home with holy books. The Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory had a campaign. And Rabbi Yaakov, right? You said that campaign is ongoing today, although I haven't heard much speech about it. I think he called it the campaign. He had in Lubavitch, I think it's called Mivtzaim, right? One of the projects that the Lubavitch Rebbe initiated. And Rav Shmini said every home should have certain basic religious texts. He called it, I think, Bayit Malay Sefarim. Every house should have religious books. Right, there are certain kind of basic appliances, lahavdil. Certain kind of basic every home has certain things. You need a certain religious equipment in your house also. When you fill up your house, right? So you need all kinds of physical appliances. You need spiritual, so you have to have a Tanakh, and you have to have a Chumash, and you have to have a Shas, and you have to have a Rambam, you have to have a Shulchan Aruch. And let's say you really do buy these books, but you're not motivated because because you really want to read the Maimonidean code, because you'd love to delve into the depths of the meanings of Tanakh. You have it; it's there somewhere, on the shelf. It looks nice. You have all kinds of furniture, and now you have spiritual furniture. But I believe that the text is saying, "V'hit kadishtem." If you go through the external motions of being involved in buying and purchasing and acquiring Torah texts, v'hitem kedoshim, it'll happen. It'll go from the bookshelf to your mind, not just through osmosis. You'll really take out the sefer. You'll really study it. You'll be challenged to be connected to that sefer. There are so many people. There are so many people who maybe don't necessarily attend synagogue for the highest spiritual reason. May they will be blessed as well. Some people go to shul for other considerations. I know some people. The biggest attraction to them in the shul is the Kiddush Club, the wonderful refreshments in honor of the Holy Shabbat. So they serve all kinds of wonderful delicacies, at the end of the service. I hope not. In some places they used to have it in the middle. I think Baruch Hashem, I think it's now limited only to after the davening, and they're delicious. Right? It's much better than the food they have that's maybe in their own homes, and they enjoy all the cakes and the pastries and the drinks and the kugels and the cholent. Wonderful. Let's go to shul. And there's an early source for that. The Mishnah speaks in Masechet Rosh Hashanah how when they wanted to attract people to testify in Yerushalayim about the new moon. So how do you get people to come to Yerushalayim?
Serve food.
What?
Thank you. Serve food.
Serve food. Yeah, serve food. So I guess if you had a certain kind of, it's a big schlep to travel all the way to Yerushalayim, depending where you are.
And even if they didn't use them as a witness, they would serve them.
They would interview them. They would interview them, and that's right. Sudot Gedolah.
And you encourage all witnesses.
I'm sorry?
Sudot Gedolah encourage.
Yeah, right. That's right. No. So it's legitimate. But is that v'hitem kedoshim? Am I going to shul for the real reason? Am I really doing it? Is it really me who's being holy? Yeah. But it's holy to go to the shul. It's a holy endeavor. The Midrash compares it to somebody walking into a perfume factory. You ever walk through a perfume factory? Let's say you don't touch anything at all in the perfume factory. Picture a complete square block of a perfume factory. You walk in through the northern entrance, and you go out through the southern exit. You just walk through, even if you don't touch any of the bottles.
Come out from it.
Yeah, something will be absorbed. You're going to shul. Wow, that's great. It's like a spiritual perfume factory. You sat in the Beit Midrash. You didn't open any. You just went to the Beit Midrash. Ashrei Yoshvei Ve'techa. Fortunate of those who even just sit in your house. So what kind of action is that? That's a v'hitem kedoshim response of God. It's a v'hit kadishtem on your part. You are going through the motions of doing something which appears to be holy. It's not necessarily yet stemming. It's not necessarily yet stemming from the inner parts of the inner recesses of your heart. It's external. It's a v'hit kadishtem. But eventually it will be v'hitem kedoshim. Maybe that's the promise here in Parashat Shmini. Do it. Try it. V'hit kadishtem. And you will see. You will see that you're starting off by other considerations. You're going to shul because there's someone maybe in the synagogue where you're considering maybe it could be a potential marriage partner for you. and where else are you going to meet her? Where else are you going to see her? So shul's a wonderful place to meet. I mean, I don't think during the tefillot, but maybe after the tefillot, on the way home from the tefillot. So you go to shul. So you go to shul to socialize with certain people. That's not necessarily, vihitem kiddushim, although it's very holy to try to find the proper spouse. Is that vihitem kiddushim? It's a vihit kaddishtem kind of. It's a vihit kaddishtem kind of experience. And if you do the vihit kaddishtem, if you go through the motions of doing holy types of activities, vihitem kiddushim, it will really happen. If a person involves himself or herself in volunteering for a chesed organization, let's say they package food for needy families every week. Thursday evenings, they're 3-4 hours, they're sitting and packaging food, or they're delivering truckloads of food to needy people, And if you would interview them, they're doing it only because they need certain kinds of letters of recommendation. They're trying to get into a certain graduate school program, and one of the questions on the questionnaire is, could you bring some kind of confirmation or affidavits or letters of asserting the fact that you're so involved in community activities and helping and assisting the deprived. And let's say we're not necessarily on the level yet of interested in helping, but we're doing it for other considerations because we want this letter of recommendation. V'hit kadishtem. I believe that what the Torah is teaching here in Parashat Shmini is go through the motion, do it, be involved in it, even though it's not v'hitem kiddushim, even though it's only v'hit kadishtem, because the Gemara teaches a person should always occupy himself or herself in doing good deeds, even for the wrong reason, even if it's not the highest level reason. Shavitoch shalo lishma, bal lishma, because if you do it long enough for the reasons which are not the highest, eventually you do it for the highest reason as well. I hope that all of us can be involved in really becoming Kedoshim and really reaching whatever Kedoshim means to you. Activities of holiness, activities of spiritual heights, and maybe the first step is through V'hit Kadishtem, even if it's not fully with our full hearts, maybe to get involved in doing that, because eventually God will bless us with the response to that of truly being V'hitem Kedoshim. Thank you so much for listening. Misha Berach Chavoteinu Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, David, Shlomo, Yimoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Yivarech, Yirapeh, Yichazek, Yitzar, Mishmar, Et Yirmiyahu ben Pri V'Nachama, Et Sarah Shirel, Bat Lorraine, in Kochel Yisrael, El Narafan Alehem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Alehem, Lach Limam, La'apotam, Lach Zicham, Lach Yotam, Vishlach Lehem Meira Refuah Shem Ben HaShamayim, L'chol Evreihem, V'gidehem, B'tor Shar Chol Yisrael, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Hashtav B'Galav Zman Karev and Omar Amen.
Amen.
I just want to say something which may not be on the video, but I'll tell it to you anyway. The Baal HaTanya says that when you should be involved in Torah mitzvot Shalol Lishma, should be told Shalol Lishma, Baal Lishma. He says it doesn't only mean eventually you're going to do it for the right reason. He says that when eventually you do it for Lishma, retroactively, God considers all of the Lo Lishma as if you did it Lishma. It's almost as if the process of, you understand? Should be told Shalol Lishma, Baal Lishma. Not only that it will eventually lead to Lishma, but retroactively, since you eventually reach that level of really doing it for the right reason, of really being the V'hitem Kedoshim, then all of the V'hit Kadishtem activities are also activities that are considered to really be V'hitem Kedoshim. Hopefully we can fulfill this teaching and this charge here in Parashat Shmini. Thank you so much. Arvit, we have a minyan. Let's stop it.